While we're waiting. All right, this is State of Florida versus Stephen Allen Cooper, case number 19 CF 866. Mr. Cooper's before the court today. He represents himself. Mr. Cooper, do you still wish to represent yourself?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, there's been a bunch of motions filed today, but print out the motion that I've denied, most of the pro se, the ones that were filed as of the 12th. Madam Clerk. Dismissed, the motion to dismiss defendant's motion to reinstate bond and vacate related bond forfeiture and notice of speedy trial.
Development resubmitted.
Yeah, and I'm gonna deny them again. All right, where we at? I dismissed the pro se notice of speedy trial demand. But okay, we'll set it for the November. Anything else, Mr. Cooper?
Yes, you dismissed them because of a certificate of service, and they were refiled with a proper certificate of service.
They were just refiled today. I have not had a chance to look at them. So I won't deny them today. I'll just reserve on that. Okay. I just have not, they were not in the court file when I looked this morning. They were filed today. So I'm not prepared to order them. I will not dismiss them today, but I will have a chance to look at them. Okay.
So I have a right to reinstate bond.
No, I'm not reinstating it right now. And I'm not going to reinstate your bond. You failed to appear. Judge Costello, is my understanding that Judge Costello was covering for me, that you appear by Zoom, and you did not come to trial as you were ordered to. So you're not getting back out of jail.
It was not willingly though.
You're not getting out of jail, Mr. Cooper.
But I have a right to bond.
Denied. All right. Well, denied.
I do have a motion that I'd like to submit to you,
for
disqualification of judge.
Okay, submit it.
Who should I hand it to?
To the clerk. We'll set that for the 19th. We'll have Cooper, case number 19 CF 866. Mr. Cooper's present in the courtroom. He's representing himself. Mr. Cooper, do you wish to continue to represent yourself?
Yes, Your Honor.
And we're set for trial November 3rd. All right. Did you get the order to deny motion for disqualification of judge?
I have not received that.
I'll have that printed out for you. There's some other motions that you filed. Looks like we got them yesterday. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this on the trial docket for that November date. I'm going to set this for October 24 for a trial management and motion day.
I got the bond reinstatement that was previously filed, and then
I'm going to deny that motion for bond. You're based on your failure to appear. I'd already, and for the record, I have had you arrested at least once on a failure to appear, released you again on, allowed you to go back to, I believe, Ocala. On the morning of trial, after you filed a demand for speedy, you failed to appear, and Judge Costello revoked your bond at that time, had a capious, and then we had to, I think the capious was outstanding for a while. So my motion is denied.
I'm prepared to make arguments in regards to that.
Well, I'm not prepared to listen to them. I'm ruling on your motion. Okay? I can rule on a motion without hearing argument, and that's what I'm doing today. Anything else?
Any of the other motions?
I'm going to hear everything on the 24th, because you just filed a bunch yesterday on the 16th, and we got them in the court file. So I'll hear everything the 24th. That will conclude today's hearing. Mr. Cooper, we'll see you then. Mr. Cooper, you're here today on your trial management. I believe you're set for trial November 3rd at 8:30. You're representing yourself. Do you wish to have an attorney appointed to represent you or talk any more about that?
No.
Okay. All right. Where are we at?
I believe it's the motions, and I have my motion to reinstate bond. And
that'll be denied.
All the motions filed on the 14th that you postponed 30 days until this date, and none of them have been responded to.
Filed in reverse, responding to his multiple motions to dismiss, the motion for discharge, and the motion to quash the information.
All right.
Actually, a motion to disqualify the judge was filed as well. I believe you got that.
I think I've ruled on that, hadn't I?
I believe you got another one.
Welcome back, everyone, because today's courtroom footage is a masterclass in what happens when people try to outsmart the legal system and run straight into a judge who's seen it all before. That we've got not one, but two explosive hearings in this video. First up, a repeat offender who thought he could play games with Zoom court appearances, ignore in-person orders, and somehow still walk free. Spoiler alert, the judge is absolutely not having it, and then, just when you think it can't get any better, we head into sovereign raveling. But this time, the judge is fully prepared. No patience. No nonsense. And no mercy for these tired internet arguments that you're about to see. Excuses shut down, bond denied, and a courtroom lesson in how reality hits hard when fantasy legal theories meet actual law. Buckle up, because this one is packed with drama, stubbornness, and judges who absolutely refuse to be played.
Come on up and have a seat if you would. Go ahead and have a seat, sure. There's no contract. You and I have no contract. We resolve it in this way. It's a civil infraction, which means the city has the obligation of going first. Go ahead and have a seat and speak into the, if you're more comfortable standing. No, this isn't the time for questions. This isn't the time for questions. What we do here, this is not, we do it in a certain order. The first thing we do is, as you were cited for 2 infractions, is as I read what the officer said until there's nothing before me, until we have the officer's statement. Once we have the officer's statement, then you can present whatever argument you want. That's the time you make your argument.
So what is it about today?
Pardon?
What are you planning on doing today?
Well, you're defending yourself against the issuance of 2 infractions.
No, I'm not the defendant.
Well,
Defendant, would you agree with me?
you're whatever you want to call yourself, a defendant, a respondent. You're the person who was issued the citations.
That's the problem. That's not the defendant.
I've read the argument. You're not raising it at the right time. Raise the argument after I've read the officer's statement into the record.
I have actually contested that statement on the return service that you received in the file.
Okay.
Statement is not accurate.
If it's not accurate, now is not the time. We don't have the statement yet. I need to read the statement. On January 2nd, 2025, at approximately 1600 hours, while on patrol within the city limits of Yelm in a marked patrol vehicle, when I observed a silver Buick traveling east on Mossman Avenue with Washington registration ACA 8168. The registration showed expired as of 11/24. I conducted a traffic stop using my emergency lights. The driver was identified as Amos Canzoni by his Washington State driver's license. Amos first gave me a random card stating he was an American citizen and did not need a driver's license. Amos attempted to argue his sovereign citizenship and that he did not need a driver's license. Amos was unable to provide me with current proof of insurance and stated he did not have any at this time. Amos was given the opportunity to contact the valid driver who was unable to do so. I advised Amos that his vehicle would be impounded. Amos was given a criminal citation for driving while license suspended in the 3rd degree, a traffic citation for no insurance, and a copy of the TOFR. Amos was given a courtesy to his residence. The vehicle was impounded from the scene by Wharton.
Now let's pause right here, because Stephen Cooper didn't just miss court. This guy repeatedly ignored in-person orders and thought showing up on Zoom would somehow count. Judges are very clear about this. When you're ordered to appear physically, you show up physically. Not on a laptop. Not by phone. When he didn't, the court issued a bench warrant, which basically means law enforcement is authorized to find you and bring you in, and notice how the judge points out this wasn't a one-time mistake. Cooper had already been arrested before for failing to appear and was given another chance. That's the key word here, chance. The court showed leniency once. He blew it. And now he's learning that the justice system has a long memory. Do you think the judge is being fair here, or should Cooper have gotten another shot? Drop your thoughts below.
Fortunately, I gave him this, my American State National Credential Card. And this has all the information he needed to look up to find out that I'm not a US citizen and therefore not in his jurisdiction. And therefore, there's no issue about traffic violations because there was no crime involved. And then he refused to look up the information by his own choice. So then he required my driver's license, which I told him I can give it to him, but that does not apply because it's my license, it's not the DOL sign, because my name is a copyrighted name, and therefore it's in my possession. But anyway, he then went on to saying about sovereign citizen. That's an oxymoron, and I tend to say only morons use that term, because a sovereign can never be a citizen. Citizen has an obligation to whatever government or state he's subscribing to, whereas a sovereign, I'm a foreign sovereign. I mean, I'm foreign to your jurisdiction. I'm here talking to you now as a lawful person. I can talk to you because we're both persons in this environment, but I'm not subject to legal rules and everything. That's up to you. That's you are subject to. I'm not. I tried to tell that to the police officer because for his own protection, I told him, look, I'm not really who you think I am. I'm a driver, not driving a commercial vehicle with interstate commerce. It's the only reason I would have a driver's license. So that's why I gave him the credential card first so he could correct his mistake. He refused to do so, and they ran me through the mill, and you know what the mill was doing afterwards. So that's all criminal now because I'm a foreign sovereign, and I posted it on my door. I posted it in my file that I have a Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act, meaning help that holds me, a man, a lawful person, immune towards the legalese, the legal.
Insisting he has a right to bond, but that's not how it works. Bond is a privilege, not a guarantee. Judges look at one thing above all else: will this person actually come back to court if released? And Cooper has already answered that question loud and clear with his actions. I see appearances. Bench warrant. Months on the run. From the judge's perspective, releasing him again would be like handing someone car keys after they've already crashed 3 times, and when Cooper says it wasn't willing, the judge shuts it down immediately, because intent doesn't matter when court orders are ignored. Accountability does. At this point, Cooper's legal games have officially run out.
You don't have a claim. You have to actually prove jurisdiction over me 1 year. The defendant is not me, but defendant, the name, all caps name, is under my private copyright and trademark. So you basically created, not you with you, I mean the federal government created that name. And I'm asking you, do you agree that the name represents a usufruct derivative? It's something you can use to access my assets and create credit therefrom. And then without my consent or knowledge, you can then create monetary incentives for yourself and for the court and everything. But the credit and the asset still belongs to me. So the conundrum I have with you now is you are the ones who would have to pay the fine on that violation because it doesn't concern me. It concerns a usufruct derivative, which I still don't have any control over, even though it's in my copyright and trademark. That's the whole conundrum I have with the court and with the federal government itself. You trespass upon me, you basically transform me into a defendant, all caps defendant, which I am not, and I have proven that I'm not. And yet you still try to link me to that case with that defendant. And I would claim that the government is responsible to offset all these fines or whatever you want to create under that name and hold me harmless because I have nothing to do with it. So that's in a nutshell the situation. But I would also say you have to prove jurisdiction first before you have a case. And you haven't done that so far. Nobody has rebutted my documents I filed into the court case. That means in your own rules, it's admitted truth because it has not been rebutted. It's fact and truth. And then you would technically have to honor these facts and truth. But by continuing with the charade, you do not. And you do not recognize that you're basically now in criminal contempt of the law because do I have to spell it out? As of January 1st, 2025, poof, this court has disappeared. The municipal government has been liquefied with a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, which has been finalized January 1st. And now, basically, you don't even exist anymore. Or if you do exist, you would have to be on Washington, D.C. ground, because you're not,
And this is where you can really feel the judge's patience wearing thin. Cooper tries to argue again, but the judge flat out says, "I'm not prepared to listen to them." That might sound harsh, but legally speaking, judges are allowed to rule on motions without hearing oral argument, especially when the issues are already clear, and in this case, the facts are simple. Cooper failed to appear multiple times. No amount of courtroom speech is going to erase that record. You can also hear how procedural this has become now. Motions denied, date set. Moving things along efficiently. That's a sign the court isn't entertaining delays anymore. The focus is now on trial.
what specifically, it's just a general thought that has been put on the people of this country. Now, I have another document here I would like to post it. I have it already filed in the docket, but it shows the residents of this country. Residents in all caps named. And we all know a resident is only a temporary living in this country or in the state. There's not a single American in the census of 330 million people. Now, my question to you is, why do you insist on treat us like sovereign citizens, which is an oxymoron, rather than recognize our status? Because in Thurston County, there's maybe 2,000 of us, if it comes to a high number. Everybody else can be treated as a dual U.S. citizen, which gives you all the rights you have, but not against me. So that's your problem now, because I have documented everything in the file. So basically, I made a counterclaim. I nullified your claims, including the fines, including whatever you want to bring up, including the statements of the police officer. They've all been voided out by me responding, return service response. And that also would also be appearance in court, by the way. So he never not appeared in court. I just give you the courtesy. Well, it's basically not a courtesy, it's under arrest. I come here to make sure I inform you of the situation you're basically maneuvering yourself into by not recognizing who I am, foreign sovereign, because I'm outside of your jurisdiction period. So that's why you don't really have a case. And it would be wise if you would allow the prosecutor to file a notice of dismissal or cancellation of the case, because it won't have any jurisdiction. But it's not in the docket. And then also, in order for me to be protected, we also have a private indemnity bond. In case I would be involved in a crime or in some property damage, that indemnifies me. I don't need a bond like you guys do. I just need an indemnity bond. So that means if something happens that causes a lot of financial problems, that indemnity bond would be able to connect for the power. So that's the document. And you can see there's two barcodes on there, or whatever they call it. You can access my documents like the police officer could have easily gone, scan those two barcodes and get into the file. And then all the files are in there accessible, the same ones I put into the court case now. So basically, there was no reason for the officer to do anything else except, "Oh, excuse me, I made a mistake. Have a good day." That would be his proper response to me as identifying me as a foreign sovereign. And he did not do that, and the court did not do that. And I don't go into details right now, but it has been a lot of hassle against me, who is not even involved in this one. That's.
All right, and just when one courtroom headache ends, we walk straight into another. Enter the sovereign citizen, or as he calls himself, an American state national. This is a group that believes they can opt out of laws by using special language, denying contracts with the government, and redefining basic legal terms. They often claim they aren't defendants, aren't driving, and aren't subject to traffic laws. And these arguments have been rejected in courts across the country, thousands of times, but as you're about to see, this guy is still fully committed to the script that he good news.
Any name you want, as long as you're not doing that to defraud anybody. Now, it's not of any interest to me whether you call yourself first name, first name, comma, uppercase, lowercase. It's the person that's sitting in front of me. They take it, it's my turn.
Okay.
But you're arguing that you're basically exempt from you're exempt from the rules that would apply to the citizens of this country. The problem is you may be, may not be call yourself a citizen of this country, But when you're using the roadway, you're subject to the rules of the roadway, no matter what you call yourself, a foreign citizen, a sovereign, it doesn't matter. Is it this person using the roadway? When you do that, there are certain requirements that apply to the people using the roadway. And if you were, then the officer says you're within the city of Yelm on a road on Mossman Avenue, take judicial notice of that. That's a certified road. You are subject to those obligations. Now, I'm very familiar with all these arguments. I suggest you, it's my turn, sir. I suggest you read State v. Williams. It's in 143 Washington 2nd, which goes into this. We're talking alternative realities here. The reality I subscribe to, this is the state of Washington. This is a validly established court. I have jurisdictions over minor matters, infractions committed within the city by the people that are driving on the road, for example. Now, you don't believe that? State versus Williams goes into that in some detail. They call these arguments, I've looked through this as, at one point they refer to them as semi-literate gibberish, which is basically what it is. These are specious arguments that I don't have to, I'm not taking into effect. They are not recognized in any court in the United States. I know there's a wealth of information, hundreds, thousands of these articles on the internet. You can pull them off. For example, this one signed by Anna Marie Reisinger.
Here it is, the classic sovereign citizen opener. They believe that unless they personally agreed to government authority, laws don't apply to them. But here's the reality, laws don't work like gym memberships. You don't sign up. You're subject to them by living in the jurisdiction. The judge immediately redirects him back to procedure, because courts don't debate internet theories, they deal with evidence, officer statements, citations, facts, and you can already see the frustration building as the defendant keeps trying to jump ahead and derail the process with philosophical arguments. The judge